am the legend killer. All of a sudden, this Hulkamania is going wild all over the place, and he's becoming a legend.
Oh, what a shootout, ladies and gentlemen.
Two legendary figures in the world of wrestling.
I'm a fighting champion, and I'll never go down, Daddy.
Their confrontations on screen reflected the genuine animosity they felt for each other off screen.
Hogan, all due respect, you can't make me back up. You have to kill me.
Look at these two men go at it tooth and nail.
For Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan, their epic showdowns were pivotal in catapulting WWE to national prominence as a staple of entertainment. Every time Hogan faced Piper, it was nothing short of a battle.
You piece of crap!
This rivalry ignited a flame that would smolder for over 30 years.
I'm the only guy you have never been able to beat.
During the early 1980s, the traditional landscape of professional wrestling, dominated by local territories, was about to be transformed as Vince McMahon set out to establish WWE as the leading force in the industry. At that time, wrestling operated within approximately 100 territories worldwide, with performers frequently traveling from one to another.
I was the guy who booked the system, all my dad's business, Northeast Territory, and decided I wanted to go national and indeed international with it.
One day, we hope to be recognized as the premier source of sports entertainment in the world today.
We were unaware of Vince's grand vision. We knew he aimed to take the company nationwide, and to do that, he needed more star power, recalled a veteran wrestler.
Greg Valentine marking his return.
In his quest for talent, Vince McMahon turned his attention to one of wrestling's biggest names, Hulk Hogan. Word spread that Vince was assembling a team, and before long, he flew into Minneapolis to meet with Hogan at his home. He laid out his ambitious vision for WWE to become a global phenomenon.
The recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
It took me about 2 seconds to say I'm in.
Oh, you gotta be kidding! You have gotta be kidding me! The incredible Hulk Hogan!
Look at that! That's 300 pounds of all muscle in there right now!
Hogan's distinctive appearance and remarkable charisma made him the ideal candidate for McMahon's flagship performer. It was clear that Vince saw Hogan as the cornerstone of his plans, and everything took off from there.
This is the main event.
Hogan had put in years of hard work in various territories, wrestling up to 14 times a week.
Here's where I was wrestling sometimes 13 or 14 times a week. When I came back to work for the WWE and for the McMahons, I had no idea what kind of momentum we were going to get.
Vince envisioned Hogan facing off against the Iron Sheik, leading to the explosion of Hulkamania, and history was made.
1, 2, he got out! And the fans on their feet. Hulkamania is here.
The larger-than-life persona of Hulk Hogan was unmatched. His ring entrance alone was something extraordinary, captivating audiences everywhere.
I needed someone who could capture the imagination of our audience. Hogan fit that bill. He became a superhero.
I've been training, saying my prayers and eating my vitamins. And everywhere I go, man, Hulkamania's running wild all over the world. And every time I step in the ring, it's like there's 1,000 people stepping in there with me. 1,000 Hulkamaniacs.
Hogan was determined to be a top-tier wrestler. He prepared himself thoroughly for this role.
Oh, God! The Hulk has electrified this crowd!
He thrived in front of the camera, and Vince trusted him enough to carry the entire company on his shoulders.
The incredible Hulk Hogan!
With Hogan as WWE's celebrated champion, the roster began to swell with some of the biggest names in sports entertainment. It was like an influx of incredible talent drawn magnetically to WWE.
And I see 1984 as being a virtual flood of wrestling talent into the World Wrestling Federation, the likes of which we've never seen.
Vince had a strategic plan. Vince McMahon essentially gathered the best wrestlers from across the country, creating an all-star roster.
Ricky Steamboat!
Vince McMahon had basically taken the top talent from all over the country, every territory, brought him into his, and he had an all-star team. The list of talent was unbelievable.
Rowdy Roddy Piper!
talent pool was astounding. By early 1984, Rowdy Roddy Piper had joined WWE after making a name for himself in various territories with his electrifying persona. Now, all these main event talents were converging in New York at the same time. But simply wrestling wasn't enough. Roddy needed something to distinguish himself.
The talent was so extraordinary. I needed something to put me ahead of everybody.
By then, he had earned a reputation as an exceptional talker.
I've always been considered somebody that walks the line a little bit. And I invented Piper's Pit. And then, holy cow.
This week, you have the opportunity. I would like to introduce to you at this time...
Piper's Pit became a platform that amplified everyone's anticipation for what he would say next. Fans were eager to see who he would target next and what controversial remarks he might make. It gave him a focal point and ensured that all eyes were on him.
RP talks, brother. People listen. That's all I got to say.
Roddy was intense, one of a kind, and an exceptional performer who thrived on provoking others.
Ladies! No, we're in New York, aren't we? There ain't none of those here.
And the fact that he relished, actually, getting under people's skin. It was really, really...
Of New York!
While Hogan drew cheers from packed arenas with his heroic persona, Piper's raw and abrasive style solidified him as one of WWE's premier antagonists.
Roddy Piper. Now that's a bad dude, let me tell you.
Roddy would appear on television acting tough. The reason he wore a kilt? Because he was once a champion bagpiper. Is he a character? Absolutely. He just cranks it up.
That's a wonderful thing. You got no room for nobody, but you're a lousy wrestler.
Roddy Piper had a certain unpredictability about him that made you think he might be a bit off the rails. His approach was unique, yet he was genuine in his beliefs. He firmly stood by what he thought was right, and that authenticity resonated with audiences, making it all work.
You wanted to fight on me? You think you're tough?
Piper's distinct style paved the way for Vince McMahon's vision of infusing more entertainment into professional wrestling. Vince recognized Piper's talents and gave him the freedom to explore his creativity, allowing him to take risks and express himself fully. The erratic nature of Piper's persona made a significant impact in WWE, especially when compared to his initial experience with the company a decade prior. Back then, he arrived at Madison Square Garden in a limousine.
It was a disastrous first appearance for Roddy Piper.
When I came in a limousine, they sent me home in a cab and said, "Don't call us, we'll call you."
This was a common tactic among wrestlers to maintain job security. After that missed opportunity, Piper found himself back in the smaller territories of the National Wrestling Alliance. With a chip on his shoulder and a sense of distrust, he had to work hard to rebuild his reputation and career. Piper was determined to prove himself night after night.
Watch it. Here he comes. Right out here on our feet. That Piper gonna follow him out there.
I was angry, and I was lost.
This journey required a fearless attitude. Being afraid of everything meant he could fear nothing. He spent 2 years in the Portland territory, where his popularity soared, followed by 2.5 years in Charlotte, and then Atlanta, where he also made a significant impact.
Well, I'll tell you what, Roddy Piper will give you everything, including the kitchen sink, and that's exactly...
His success caught Vince McMahon's attention, leading to an invitation to join WWE. Although they didn't see eye to eye on everything, Piper recognized that this was his chance to make a mark on a larger stage. With the right talent assembled, Vince leveraged television programming and emerging cable networks to bring his ambitions of national recognition closer to fruition.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to All-American Wrestling.
Vince established a vast syndication network, ensuring his shows reached local affiliates across nearly every city in the United States. The arrival of cable television marked a turning point. Once Vince secured that platform, there were virtually no limits to what he could achieve. However, this nationwide expansion came with heightened risks. WWE superstars found themselves without the safety net of territorial wrestling. Instead of having various territories to fall back on, they faced a national audience all at once. The challenge for wrestlers was clear: maintain your relevance or risk fading away quickly. Once you lost your momentum, it was felt across the entire country. For WWE's star-studded roster, it was an all-or-nothing scenario. With memories of past setbacks still vivid, Piper's pride and intensity grew stronger as he fought to protect his career.
My first time in Madison Square Garden didn't go so well. After that happened, it took me 10 years to get back. It was brand new, it was going all over the world, and I got kids. The way I feed my children is by how much money I can make.
In those days, lucrative contracts were scarce. Losing matches could significantly diminish your value. Therefore, Piper refused to give in easily.
Oh, look at that Piper ramming!
His philosophy of fear nothing and there are no rules extended both inside and outside the ring, leading many to perceive him as wild and unpredictable.
That's why they don't let me wrestle on TV.
As 1984 progressed, Hulkamania was taking over WWE, but tensions were simmering behind the scenes.
When you talk about the top contenders, the magnificent Morocco, Cowboy Bob Orton, and that no-good, low-down Rowdy.
Every wrestler aspired to occupy Hulk Hogan's spot. That's just how the business works. Everyone wants to be the top guy and champion. It was no secret that Piper held a deep-seated dislike for Hogan.
I am the legend killer. All of a sudden, this Hulkamania is going wild all over the place, and he's becoming a legend.
Piper had recently transitioned from Georgia, where he held the top position. Hot Rod was accustomed to being the standout star, and this is when the tension began to brew. Subtle jabs were exchanged backstage. Roddy, with his old-school mentality, had faced numerous challenges on his way up and felt he could have achieved stardom comparable to that of Hulk Hogan.
Piper is sour on life.
Was there animosity with Hogan? Absolutely. I have a lot of respect for him, but Hogan did that movie cameo with Stallone, Rocky, and boom, and away he went. So compared to paying dues, it was all due respect, but like, there's no comparison at all.
As their differing philosophies became more pronounced, so did the friction between them. However, WWE's expanding roster and burgeoning success kept a certain distance between the two icons. Wrestling had exploded in popularity. On any given night, there were two shows running simultaneously. Consequently, Piper and Hogan didn't often find themselves in the same place at the same time. As 1985 approached, WWE was poised for a significant opportunity to elevate its profile, and the long-anticipated clash between its two most compelling stars was about to unfold. The company's nationwide expansion received a significant boost through partnerships with mainstream celebrities, notably through a collaboration with MTV, which would be known as the Rock and Wrestling Connection. Vince McMahon seized this platform to spotlight the rivalry between Hulk Hogan, the company's hero, and his on-screen and off-screen rival, Rowdy Roddy Piper.
To set this up, and it was me that started it. I want to present you with the...
Oh, look out!
Cyndi Lauper, the acclaimed vocalist of the year, was brought into the mix when Roddy Piper famously smashed her platinum record over Captain Lou.
Go the Hulksters! In the ring!
And then there was Hogan in the ring. They tried to maintain distance for as long as possible, but it was inevitable.
Love to be the Marshall Dillon of the Rock Wrestling Connection, Piper, and I would love you to feel the wrath of the Hulkster.
You see, Hulky, baby, I got nothing to gain. If you want to fight...
Roddy's disdain for Hogan and Hogan's mistrust of Roddy created a perfect storm for storytelling, making it easy to translate their backstage tension into captivating on-screen drama. This culminated in the highly anticipated Piper-Hogan showdown that aired on MTV as the centerpiece of February's The War to Settle the Score.
Tonight, ladies.
The event drew massive ticket sales, with fans eager to witness Hogan defend his title against Roddy Piper.
Rowdy! Oh, they're at it!
However, there was little collaboration between them since Hogan was seen as the centerpiece of Vince's grand vision. The plan overlooked the fact that it takes two to create a compelling narrative, intensifying the animosity between them.
These guys are trying to annihilate each other.
Whenever I went in there against Piper, it was always a war.
Please, look out! Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Please, God, the referee is out of it. Here comes Mr. T, ladies and gentlemen.
The match match lived up to expectations, delivering excitement but lacking a clear resolution due to outside interference.
Look at these two.
That prevented Piper from losing to his rival. Despite this ambiguous ending, the Piper-Hogan main event was a tremendous success, achieving an impressive television rating exceeding 9.0 on MTV. It was clear they were onto something monumental, like pouring gasoline on an already roaring fire. With their first encounter generating significant buzz and unresolved issues lingering, a rematch was inevitable. This time, however, the stakes were higher as Vince McMahon placed his company's future on the line at WrestleMania.
There's always this one big, huge event culminating in whether it was sports or entertainment. So why not wrestling? In the mecca, of all of the environments known as Madison Square Garden.
The rivalry between Hogan and Piper would headline what would become Hawaii's most significant event. Additionally, McMahon continued to incorporate various entertainment figures into the mix, enlisting television star Mr. T to partner with Hulk Hogan against Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
Brother, will you stick with me? Will you help me get the job done?
I said I would.
Join the tag team and bring in Mr. T, the toughest bouncer around.
We accept your talent. We accept our talent.
All the elements were in place. The dynamic between Hogan and Piper, combined with Mr. T's star power, created an irresistible spectacle for fans.
I was 12 years old. My dad was in the WWE at that time. It was such a grand event, and there was so much hype. Mr. T, Hulk Hogan, I thought it was really, really cool.
While Mr. T's involvement brought additional media attention to WWE, it also escalated tensions behind the scenes between its two leading stars. Hogan welcomed the Hollywood icon with enthusiasm, but his mainstream entertainment approach clashed with Piper's traditional wrestling values, leading to increased animosity both on-screen and off.
I want you to see what can happen to you. This is exactly what you could end up looking like here, and there would be no more A-team, no more nothing. I've given you one more chance, give it up and get out.
Roddy's old-school mentality meant he viewed outsiders in their business with skepticism.
Be outside our business, I'm gonna eat his lunch.
That's my heritage.
He believed they would take advantage of him if given the chance, which he found unacceptable. Piper was not thrilled about Mr. T stepping into the wrestling ring. This sentiment stemmed from an old-school mentality that viewed the influx of celebrities into their domain as unwelcome. After all their hard work to reach Madison Square Garden for WrestleMania, it felt frustrating to see actors encroaching on their territory.
How big this was going to be, and that, hey, let's get through this match and let's not hurt the guy.
I'll tell you, you mess with me, T, I'll put an X on your name, brother.
Piper's sharp verbal jabs only heightened fan anticipation for WWE's popular duo to exact revenge on the company's main antagonist.
The World Wrestling Federation presents the wrestling extravaganza of all time, WrestleMania.
Reflecting on WrestleMania, which didn't even have a number designation at the time, it was clear that no one realized they were making history. It's not something you consciously think about, you're just fully immersed in the moment.
Everything was on the line that night at WrestleMania. I knew that Vince had given everything he had, as his whole life was betting on that one night, and I knew we better put on the best show we could and tear the roof off the Garden.
25,000 plus on their feet. The electricity is unbelievable. I'm pumped up. WrestleMania, the greatest in wrestling history, is taking place right now.
The most significant match in Wii history was set to begin, yet the unpredictable personalities involved kept everyone guessing about what might transpire next. Roddy had little trust in anyone, which colored his approach to every match.
Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper putting the boots to Mr. T.
Falseness. I was still trying to protect Mr. T so that Orndorff and Piper wouldn't break him in half. It was just crazy.
These competitors were eager to charge ahead, but they had chosen the wrong opponent. It was as straightforward as that. Everyone else would have to deal with the consequences.
Look at it. Piper was about to lower the book out. Oh, he hit Orndorff. Unbelievable. With the cash. Down for the cover. Pat Patterson. He got out.
Hulk Hogan and Mr. T emerged victorious, but once again, Roddy Piper managed to avoid being pinned for the 3 count.
Rowdy just knocks out Pat Patterson with one shot.
Wrestling is a tough business, and staying on top requires a sharp mind. With a sold-out Madison Square Garden and over 1 million viewers tuning in via closed circuit, WrestleMania became a box office phenomenon that transformed the landscape of sports entertainment.
All in all, it was a perfect springboard for what we needed to launch the WWE into the stratosphere. We created a huge amount of positive momentum. It parlayed into different TV deals and expanding the horizons beyond anywhere we'd been. Every single night you go to a building, it was sold out.
However, the Piper-Hogan feud failed to reach a definitive conclusion in the months that followed. The clash of egos and Piper's determination to remain unpinned resulted in numerous countouts and disqualifications.
Oh, look out, Ace comes in without Canis.
There was legitimate heat between me and Piper. He always wanted to come out on top no matter what it was. I think it was detrimental to us really moving forward. Where do you go from there?
Leaving the rivalry unresolved.
Telling the truth there. And I take just as much credit or blame, but, you know, everybody was butting heads.
The compelling nature of their conflict was central to WWE's ascent to national prominence. Yet after a year of intense battles, the inability to sustain the storyline's momentum led WWE to move on, leaving many to believe that the final chapter of the Hogan-Piper saga had already been written. In June 1994, Hulk Hogan made the leap to Ted Turner's World Championship Wrestling, providing WCW with the exposure needed to compete nationally in the sports entertainment arena. For Hogan, it was a convenient choice. WCW was practically in his backyard, and with Turner Broadcasting and TNT involved, it felt like a natural fit. This partnership benefited both Hogan and WCW, as they needed a flagship character to signal their seriousness as a competitor. As a new generation of talent emerged, bringing a more rebellious spirit with them, Hogan found himself needing to reinvent the persona that had made him a major attraction. The familiar act of posing and engaging with fans was starting to feel stale, prompting discussions with Eric Bischoff about potential changes.
I had discussions with Eric Bischoff about me turning into a bad guy. I had seen Scott come in, I'd seen Kevin come in, I'd seen the edge they put on the bad guy. I said,
Hulk Hogan is in the building! You damn right he is!
If I can not be Hulk Hogan, but if I can do this thing as Hollywood Hulk Hogan, you know, and come in with a really nasty edge on, I'll do it.
Hulk Hogan arrived. What is he doing? Oh my God! Is he the third man? He's the third man!
With Hollywood Hogan now embracing a villainous role, the New World Order quickly ascended to become the most dominant faction in sports entertainment, dismantling everything in their path.
Is there any question now? What? The most powerful organization in professional wrestling.
To keep the rivalry alive, WCW required a credible adversary to challenge its iconic figure. The NWO's overwhelming presence overshadowed many newcomers, creating challenges for WCW as they desperately sought more recognizable names. In a bid to sustain momentum, WCW President Eric Bischoff sought out a familiar rival from Hulk Hogan's past, who was no longer tied to WWE. This individual was a significant figure in the wrestling world. Hogan had amassed a massive fan base, so when he learned that Roddy Piper might be joining WCW, he was fully supportive of the idea.
I'm taking over the WCW!
The rivalry between Hogan and Piper was far from over. Piper was the only opponent Hogan had never truly defeated.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Hollywood Hulk Hogan retains the World Heavyweight title.
My goodness! It's Roddy Piper! There's one man who has haunted Hogan's life. He wants no part of Roddy Piper.
Roddy was among the few wrestlers capable of stepping into the chaotic fray between WCW and the NWO. While Bischoff could have opted for a fresh young talent, Hogan would never manage to outshine Piper.
But like, Hogan would never beat Piper.
I'm the only guy you have never been able to beat.
Right. Now that I look in your eyes, maybe we need to have the war that didn't settle the score.
Now competing under the WCW banner, Hogan and Piper were set to reignite their classic WWE feud, embracing their newly established personas. One notable shift was the reversal of their roles.
Tell everybody out there that I'm the big superstar and that I'm a bigger icon than the rowdy, red-headed Roddy Piper.
They found themselves in different stages of their careers compared to their initial encounters. Hogan had transitioned into the role of the villain, while Piper emerged as the relatable hero. This dynamic added an intriguing layer to their story. Roddy Piper had always been the edgy anti-hero, and now Hogan was attempting to adopt that persona.
You're a loser fighting a losing battle.
Fans were eager to witness Piper deliver a beatdown on Hogan.
Got the contract? Come on, get out here, Hogan! Let's get it done!
It was clear that Hogan couldn't defeat Piper on his own. He would need backup to wear down Roddy. This scenario enriched Piper's character as he faced seemingly insurmountable odds against Hogan and his crew.
I'm gonna break you in half, you piece of crap!
The rivalry between these two legendary figures, Hulk Hogan and Rowdy Roddy Piper, was compelling. Both were skilled on the mic and held star status, allowing a new generation of fans to experience this classic feud.
If that's the best you can do, you're in trouble! Because there's no retreat! No surrender!
Yes! Yes!
This fresh take on their rivalry was thrilling. While they had clashed before, the stakes felt higher now that they were back in action together, promising an exciting showdown. Piper and Hogan headlined WCW's flagship pay-per-view event, Starrcade, in December 1996, with the company capitalizing on their storied rivalry.
The match of the decade, Piper and Hogan.
Looking back, the match between Hogan and Piper at Starrcade 96 is often underrated. Observing Roddy Piper as he walked to the ring, his intense focus was palpable.
Look at his eyes. Watch him get in the ring. And then look at his eyes.
The match itself evoked discussions among fans from decades earlier about who was the superior wrestler, making it a memorable night.
People standing with chanting Roddy's name.
More since their last direct encounter, yet Piper and Hogan continued to build upon their established feud. Their role reversal introduced new dynamics and in-ring styles as both wrestlers aimed to deliver a main event worthy of its hype.
As soon as he'd hit me, I would back off and beg. Did the best I could to run from him and be the coward and be the bad guy.
Hogan employed his villainous strategies to provoke Piper, transforming the match into a brawl, a hallmark of their rivalry. In this environment, Rowdy Roddy Piper thrived.
Look at the intensity and face of Roddy Piper.
The chemistry between Roddy and Hogan was undeniable.
Sleeper! Got the sleeper on Hogan! Good night, Irene! He's got him!
The history they shared presented a unique challenge in getting them to set aside personal differences and collaborate professionally.
Unbelievable, brother! Piper wins!
Once again, Hulk Hogan found himself unable to pin his longtime adversary. However, this time Roddy Piper emerged victorious, not through a pinfall or disqualification, but by rendering his opponent behind the scenes. Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper had to set aside their personal differences to keep their rivalry alive. In wrestling, there are winners and losers, but if a match is truly exceptional, the outcome often fades into the background. However, this wasn't how Piper viewed his conflicts with Hogan. He clung to the fact that Hogan had never pinned him. While this mindset sometimes hindered their rivalry, it also created moments where fans felt compelled to witness the action firsthand, eager to say they were part of it. As anticipation built for a rematch, both competitors continued to generate excitement. Their showdown at WCW Super Bowl VII featured a championship title on the line, yet it was their names that truly drew in fans and boosted ticket sales.
Appeal.
Neither Hogan nor Piper were known for their athleticism.
Piper! He's doing exactly what he knows. Fighting.
But their intense personality clash was where the real fireworks and profits lay.
Hogan is in the fight of his life.
Yep.
Over the years, they had faced off numerous times, but one result eluded Hogan in his rivalry with Piper. He had never managed to pin him.
He's the man that never got pinned.
Fans grew weary of countouts and disqualifications. They expected more than just a repeat of history. Just when it seemed like things were on a familiar track, Randy Savage intervened, handing something to Hogan.
Savage is putting something in Hogan's hand.
In a pivotal moment, Hogan finally managed to secure that elusive pinfall over Rowdy Roddy Piper.
What's going on? 1, 2!
Delivering a monumental payoff for their long-standing feud.
I didn't need no stinking belt. I didn't need nothing. The first pay-per-view was a record for them. The second pay-per-view with myself and Hogan was another record for them. I paid for my contract in 2 pay-per-views. Doesn't matter about ourselves, we're going to give it everything we got. It was business amongst us. We left our egos at the door.
They both set aside their egos and personal grievances once they stepped into the ring, demonstrating that their rivalry could endure and thrive even as they collaborated in 1997. This partnership proved that their characters were timeless, leaving an indelible mark on the wrestling industry that lasted well beyond their initial run.
I think the Hogan character and the Piper character are those type of characters that stand the test of time. That's why I think during the 90s, Piper and I were so etched in stone with our characters and left such an indelible mark on this wrestling business that we had life after life.
When World Championship Wrestling shut down in 2001, Hogan made a triumphant return to WWE the following year.
Thanks for making my dreams come true, guys. I know Hulkamania will live forever.
The legacy of Hulkamania and WWE had been intertwined, and Hogan's comeback would eventually lead him into a feud with the company's top villain, Mr. McMahon, the on-screen persona of WWE's chairman. Hogan took pride in being an effective heel, but he acknowledged that Vince was the ultimate antagonist.
There's no doubt about it.
Fans had long anticipated a showdown between these two titans of wrestling.
Dr. Frankenstein versus Frankenstein.
I created Hulkamania, and by God, at WrestleMania, I'm gonna kill it.
The clash between Mr. McMahon and Hulk Hogan culminated in a highly anticipated match at WrestleMania 19, an ideal stage for two of the event's founding figures. Witnessing Hogan step into the ring against Vince was thrilling. I knew it would be an incredible match.
McMahon and Hogan on the grand stage. You can feel the buzz in this audience of over 54,000.
The theme of their encounter coming to life added to the excitement. During this landmark event, another legendary superstar made an unexpected return to WWE.
This could be the turning point of this matchup.
The match that fans never thought possible was missing a crucial element until Piper made his entrance.
Who is this? No, it can't be. No way. It's Roddy Piper. What the hell is he doing here? No freaking way. What?
The crowd's reaction was electric as he made his way to the ring, creating an unforgettable moment for Roddy Piper.
This is some choice for Roddy Piper.
The impact of those three legends on WrestleMania and its overall success is undeniable. Once again, we find ourselves drawn to that captivating rivalry that transcends promotions, eras, and decades. Everyone wanted to witness it one more time. The addition of Roddy Piper at the end.
And a pipe to the head of Hogan. Roddy Piper flooring Hogan with the steel pipe.
Hogan embroiled in their debate over who was responsible for creating whom and who truly birthed WrestleMania. Yet, the key figure missing from that discussion was Roddy Piper. Without him, there would be no foundation for their rivalry.
Roddy Piper making a major impact. I cannot believe this.
Roddy had a rich history with Hogan that dated back many years, and bringing that connection back to life was quite special. WWE often presents their stories as chapters in an ongoing book, moving on to new narratives while honoring the past. Ideally, it's a story that never reaches a conclusion, especially with dedicated performers involved.
May I present the WWE Hall of Fame, Class of 2005.
In 2005, Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, honoring their rivalry. This recognition was a fitting tribute to their legacy as one of the most impactful rivalries in sports entertainment history. It truly takes two to create magic, and without each other, neither would have achieved the heights they did. WrestleMania might not have reached its legendary status without their contributions. Regardless of their differences or disagreements, which were plenty, their mutual need for one another was evident. But without Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper wouldn't exist in the same light, and vice versa. They will forever be remembered as iconic rivals in the minds of fans. It's simply part of their destinies. For nearly 3 decades, Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan stood as fierce opponents. Although both have seemingly reconciled their differences over time, the competitive spirit between these two titans of sports entertainment will always endure.
I was there for the very first WrestleMania, right in Madison Square Garden, where me and Mr. T beat Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. That was just the beginning.
I couldn't help it over here, all right? You're yelping about how you and Mr. T beat us at WrestleMania. It doesn't bother me because you didn't beat me.
Even after 30 years, their rivalry remains unresolved.
30 years don't make no difference to me. Bring it on, big guy.
This connection will undoubtedly be etched in history. The bond between Piper and Hogan will persist for eternity. They represented the quintessential good guy versus bad guy dynamic.
We bite, scratch, tear for what we want. And we're so much alike, but you know something? We're both complete opposites.
Despite any lingering tension between them, it's clear they wouldn't have wanted anyone else as their counterpart.
He's a guy.
There's the high road and there's the low road, brother. They both end in the same place, man. And both of us want to be there because at the end of these roads, that's where the best is, man. And we both want to be the best at what we do.
And you know that I will be there.
Because both are true icons of the industry. I appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.